Hi everyone, my name's Allanda and I am living on Zepbound. I don't know if you're like me, but there are so many numbers when it comes to losing weight. I mean, the amount of numbers that roll through my mind can be extremely frustrating. And this week I got tested. I got tested a lot of times. My doctor was throwing numbers at me. I made myself go to the gym thanks to my son's little Mother's Day gift. And that guy was throwing numbers at me. There are a lot of numbers. So let's talk about them. And let's try to figure out what numbers are most important and which numbers you might have to let slide a little bit. Hey, so if you're new to my channel, my name's Allanda. I'm a 47-year-old mother of 6. I have 2 biological children and 4 adoptive children. 4 are in the home. My other 2 are living their best life serving the U.S. Navy. I am on a weight loss journey. Currently, I'm on week 14 of Zepbound, and I have lost a little over 30 pounds. So very, very proud of my accomplishment. But I'll be honest, this weight journey is just that. It's a journey. And at times I can be extremely frustrated by everything that's hitting me. So I thought, let's talk about it. I'll be honest, I've done this video once before. It never made it to YouTube because when I watched it back, I was venting. It just hit me all at once. So we're gonna restructure it and I'm gonna try again, but without the venting. Let's just talk numbers. Or as I say, let's crush the numbers. The first number I wanna look at is the one that everyone keeps talking about. What number are you on Zepbound? Are you on 2.5? Are you on 5? Are you on 7.5? Are you on 10? Are you on 12.5? Are you on 15? That is a number that a lot of people tend to talk about. For me, I've actually gone back and forth. I've started on 2.5, went to 5, and then I had to drop down to 2.5 because of the shortage. And next week, or I guess this coming up Friday, I will be giving myself a 5 again. So zigzagging up and down with the numbers. The reality is that we're all trying to figure out a dosage that works for us. That's something I've come to terms with. I can't control. I can't control how my body works on the medication. I'm gonna get the side effects. That's just me. I'm gonna be constipated. Matter of fact, I'm constipated right now. Gave myself a shot on Friday. Today is Tuesday. And girlfriend, a little constipated. Passing gas like nobody else. But yes, a little constipated. So again, there are going to be some things in this journey that I can't control. Right now, I'm on 2.5 with anticipation of going to 5 milligrams. In addition to that, when I first started my very last weight journey where I was on Syndexa, my doctor suggested I use a tape measure. So I still had my tape measure from then, and I was using this. See, it tells you I ain't even use this thing in a moment. I was using this to kind of dictate or tell if I've lost weight without actually knowing if I've lost weight. But let me be honest with you. As much as this should have helped me, this became more of a frustration. I kid you not. This is a real story. One day, or actually the very first time I got it, I programmed it in my phone. I measured everything it suggested. My neck, my chest, my thigh, my calf, my arm. I measured everything. It was all set in the system. The next day I went back to measure. I think I started on my stomach and then I went to my chest, and it was telling me that my stomach was the size of my butt. So I said, okay, maybe human error. I'll fix that. So I deleted it, started all over. My chest, my stomach, my hips, my calves, all over again. A week later, I went back to give my update. Why the hell did it tell me that my neck was the same size as my thigh? That don't even sound right. How is my neck the same size as my thigh? So honestly, I don't use a tape measure. I find it more frustrating than anything. But in my background, I do home ec and sewing. So in that regard, it is very useful. But on my weight loss journey, even for my non-scale victories, I've had to put it aside. It is more stress for me than it needs to be. But for some of you out here, this might be the way to go, especially if you're on a medication and you're not losing the weight in your mind that you should be. You're like, dang, I only lost a pound this week. Oh, a pound? Dang, but she's losing 3 pounds. How I lost 1 pound? It could be because your body is losing inches. So this might be the tool for you. It's not the tool for me, but that's the whole thing about a journey. It's to each its own. For me, not my journey. Put this down. But for you, it might be in your future. Another one. I'm pre-diabetic. So my doctor, I've been on this thing for like 5 years. I kid you not. It checks my sugar. And it's programmed to my phone. I was religious on it. Every night, every night, every night, every night, every night. But ever since I started the Zepbound journey, I've put this aside. I have let this go. Because my numbers have pretty much stayed consistent, literally, for the last 5 years. I'm to the point where I don't even know why I keep checking it. Why do I keep checking it? Because I'm consistent. It's a habit. It's a habit. And now it's a habit that I've had to kind of put down. Because these two things are causing me more stress than I need. And we all know it's stressful trying to get our medication. So I'm going to have to negotiate what stress I'm willing to deal with and what stress I'm not. And these two, I'm not willing to deal with these on a daily basis, not even on a weekly basis. Hopefully my doctor's not watching this. One thing I do check every day is my blood pressure. This is my blood pressure cuff, another set of numbers that I have to keep track of. Now, I do this because I am a school teacher, and I've had moments where I've gotten a little dizzy in class. I stood up too fast. I'm like, ooh, shoot, ooh. And I have to wonder, is it my blood pressure? And so I do keep track of this number all the time, because I need to know, am I about to have a stroke? Am I about to have an issue? So for me, this is worth the headache. It may not be worth the headache for you if you don't have a blood pressure issue. Yeah, something to think about. Speaking of numbers, our waist size, our body size, pounds, that scale. That scale is another set of numbers. And if you watched my last video, I had a hiccup. I went to go weigh myself on Friday, which is my weigh-in day and injection day, but my scale needed to be charged. It needed to be charged, so I didn't get to weigh myself. I plugged it up, let it run all Friday night, all Saturday morning. I came home from my son's swim meet, stood on the scale, it still wasn't working. So you know what I did? Jumped in the car and went to Walmart and bought a new scale. Yes, about a $24 scale from Walmart. Now, my kids are gonna like, why do you have 2 scales now? Because one of them's not working. I can't get it to charge. My 10-year-old comes in there, clicks a button, sucker appears. How? I don't know. But apparently my scale has an on-off button, and when I plugged it in, I must have hit the off button. So it's 100% charged right now. So Saturday I was able to weigh myself, but now I have 2 scales. Now, yes, a little part of me is like, take that scale back, Allanda. You don't need it. But another part of me is like, girl, keep that scale. You know you need to know that number. You know you need to know that number. For me, that number is inspiration. It lets me know something's working. And I've had non-scale victories. I've had some. So even though the scale may not go the way I want it to go, it's still an inspiration for me to keep doing what I'm doing, which is the consistency part. Half the time I can't talk. It's the consistency part. So working on being consistent helps me if I can hold myself accountable on that scale. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Now, another one that plays a factor is my BMI, my age, my calorie intake, which, Lord, if I hear one more thing about some calories, so I don't want to call nobody out, but this box of cookies, 100-calorie cookies, sounds so great. But then when you start looking on the side, you like, what the hell? What? It's just sugar, just all sugar. So I know for me, I can't do this. I can't. Some of y'all might be able to, but for me, I can't. And there's not enough protein for my calorie intake. I need to make what I put in my body count. I'll say it again. I need to make what I put in my body count. That's a whole mind shift for me, because old Allanda on her previous diets would still be eating the same thing, asking myself, why am I not losing weight? But I'm having to make adjustments. And some of these adjustments come with numbers. So I just ate my little snack, just ate my snack. This is 100 calories, just like those cookies. This also has, I saw it a moment ago. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, it's on the wrapper. It also has 14 grams of protein. So just that, them two numbers, 100 calories, 14 grams of protein. I kid you not, I've never been more concerned about protein in my life. Not until I got on this Zepbound weight loss. And people are like, you gotta have your protein, you gotta have your protein. How much protein are you eating? Your protein, your water intake. Girl, on her water. I'm on my water, my 40 ounces. I do this twice a day, as you can see. Twice a day, I fill it up. But again, numbers. Those numbers. How many calories in? How many calories out? How much protein are you putting in your body? And if you don't know how to figure all that out, there is a wonderful website that'll help you. I'll be honest. I've gone to the website twice. I've jotted down the numbers, but I can't keep those numbers dancing in my head all day. I can't. I know some people use an app to track how much calorie, how much protein they have. And kudos to you. I say that with all sincerity. I just know I can't. I have way too many other things dancing in my head for me to keep in mind what I'm eating. Now, when I first started this journey, I had sheets of paper all over the place with stuff I was eating. I did. I was like, oh, I'm eating a yogurt. Eat a yogurt. And then dinner, we would have chicken and maybe some rice and a salad. Ate chicken, rice, salad. But that really didn't help. It told me what I was eating, but it didn't tell me how much protein, how much magnesium. It just didn't tell me. So that's another thing I have had to let go of. I cannot track my meals. I can't. I praise those people who can. I do meal prep. I do that with my kids because it just is money spent well. But there's just some things I can't keep up with. And one is tracking what I eat and how many calories and how much protein. Now, on the flip side, I do kind of keep track of my protein, but I'm a creature of nature. I am. If I find something I like, I'll stay on it. So this yogurt with 14 grams, I eat that every day. So I already know that's 14 grams. The little snack bar that I eat that has 12 grams? No, 15. 14. It has 14 grams. So that's 28 grams right there. I have a protein shake that's 30 grams. So that's 50. So I know kind of in the course of a day how many protein grams I put in my body, but I can't stay consistent in putting it in a tracker. But there are some great trackers out there. So if that is something that you need to work on, use them. Use them. Because again, it's your journey. So whatever's going to work for you is going to work for you. It may not work for me. And I know tracking, that is not going to work for me. I've done Weight Watchers. I've done Jenny Craig back in the day. I remember one time I was counting out grapes in my kitchen. 1, 2, 3. And that's not me. I remember that because it wasn't me. I laughed at myself. Girl, you in here counting grapes. You counting grapes for your lunch. That ain't you. And it's not. So I'm not going to do myself a disservice and start implementing something that I know I can't keep up with. I know I can't keep up with this. I used to keep up with this all the damn time. But now, with everything else that I'm having to track, I've had to put it aside. This, definitely keeping up. Because I can't have a stroke at work. Don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. So, I can't control my BMI, even though I know it's out there. But I can help by what I put in my body. My kids. How do I want to? Again, my kids love these. They love them. Especially my wrestler. Because she can eat one of these. Wrestling events are all day. They're all day. So she can eat one of these and be good for like 2 hours until she gets a break where she can actually eat. This ain't good for me. I can't do that. She can do that though. So the bars that I use have like 150 calories in them. So again, we might have to look at what numbers are going to work for you. Yeah. Even down to, and this is what got me started, y'all. This is what got me started. So I'm working with a compound pharmacy. They're my backup. They're my backup if I can't get my medication. I'm working with them, so they had me do blood work. Got the blood work back probably like in 3 days, to be honest. Well, it came back like overnight, and then it took 2 days for the person to call me to go over the blood work. And I was getting hit. Bam, bam, bam. This number, that number, this number, this number, that number. Low this, high that, blah, 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 blah. It was coming at me crazy. And I didn't know what the numbers meant. The numbers meant something to the person on the phone with me, but they ain't mean nothing to me. Other than you telling me that's bad, that's good, I need to improve. Okay. Then last week I went to my PCP, primary care physician, PCP, yeah. And while I was there, she hit me with some numbers. She was like, we're going to go do some blood tests and we're going to compare these two numbers. And then she would boom, 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 boom. And again, I'm like, what, how do I make them all look good? Like, what do I do? And it's always the same thing. Lose weight, change what you eat. And I'm doing those things, but my numbers aren't moving faster than my body. So I can only keep making the small little changes to help the big number. My cholesterol, small changes to help that number. Blood pressure, small changes to help that number. Diabetes, small changes to help that number. When I sat in my car with those sheets and I looked at all those numbers, the negatives, the pluses, the range, I felt like crying. It all hit me all at one time. It was just a lot. I'm doing the best I can. Yes, I'm gonna have some pitfalls. Who doesn't? That's the whole part of living and learning. You're gonna have some pitfalls. But I had to take a moment and say, okay, it is what it is, but what numbers can I control? And those are the numbers that I've started focusing on. The ones I know I can control. Now, there is one set of numbers that I have been gracious enough to allow myself to do this weight loss journey. But we're coming to the end of the school year. So those numbers have moved from the back of my head to the front of my head. And that's the cost of the medication. So a little bit about me. In my school district, high school teachers teach 6 classes. We have 7 periods, but we teach 6 classes. This year, I was lucky enough that my class size grew So I was able to teach 7 classes all day. So instead of me having a conference, I got paid $28 a day to teach that extra class. Now let's do some math. $28 times 5 is $140 per week. Okay, so every week I earned $140 for teaching that extra class, which, to be honest, I didn't mind. I love my classes. I love my subject matter, and if I could teach more kids the subject, by all means, I'm doing it. Yeah, the money's nice, but I'm doing it. So, $140. Most months have 4 weeks in them. So 140 times 4 is 560. So every month I earned an extra 560. Why is that important? Because that's the cost of the medication if you have the savings card. That's how I'm able to stay on the medication. But with summer coming, there are no extra classes. No extra classes. So this next paycheck will be my last paycheck. Actually, 1, 2. So I have 2. No, we got paid yesterday. So I have one more. I have one more paycheck with the extra money on it. And come summer, that extra money is going to be gone. So again, that money, the numbers have moved from the back to the front because I'm having to reassess, how am I going to be able to stay on this medication? It may be time to switch to a compound because they are a little cheaper. I don't necessarily want to. I like, living on Zepbound. But if I need to switch to a compound because my wallet can handle it, that's what we're going to have to do. Just like I had to let some other things go. Not saying I'm stopping. Just saying I'm going to have to pivot. And sometimes in this weight loss journey, that's what we have to do. We have to pivot. Also, I went to the gym, used my son's little Mother's Day gift for me. It was an introduction. So it was just me and him talking about what my goals are. I definitely told him I don't want an Ozempic booty. So he showed me some things I can do to work on that. I even was honest with him and told him, I have weights at home. They sit right by my TV. I just ignore them at all costs. So he told me, because I can't afford it. I mean, if I can't afford to be on medication right now, I can't afford no gym. So he told me how many sets. You have to do this. I need you to do this. How much on the weights? Some more numbers, y'all. How much on the weights you have to do? How many reps? I was like, God damn it, if y'all don't stop with all these numbers. But again, those are numbers that are going to help me reach my goal. And I'm going to have to be consistent. I'm going to have to be consistent. If I want to get to where I want to get to, I'm going to have to embrace the exercise part of it. But I have to remind myself, and this is what I also want to help you remind yourself as you're on this journey. They're numbers. Our life is always going to have numbers. And sometimes we have to look at one number at a time. What number are we going to look at? I control most of these numbers, either directly or indirectly. So I'm going to embrace the power I have and work on the numbers step by step.